Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to F1 here on FTRL. It is time for Div 1 action, and hopefully we're going to get a race this week, because we've had too many dramas recently. I'm fed up of it. I just want a nice, clean racing lobby. On board with Tom Robbo, here we are then at the Mexican Grand Prix, and we are on our way down the long start and finish straight. DRS is wide open as we head down towards Turn 1. Expect lots of action here on the opening lap and in the race. Tips in nicely to Turn 1. Apex is over the curve there through 2 and 3. Using the curve on exit. A little bit of a twitchy there from Tom Robbo. And now into the second DRS zone. Again, another great overtaking opportunity then as they come down to the first of the stadium section. Heavy braking zone all the way down to third gear. A little bit away from the apex, the first part there. But apex is nicely in turn 5. And then up to this slow double apex right hand hairpin. Takes both apexes nicely. And now the speed starts to build as they flings it into the S's section here. Plenty of curb. This is one of the most exciting sections of the track, but also one of the most dangerous in terms of both spins and for invalidations. But Tom Robbo has got through there nicely into the third DRS zone, using all the track available to him as it comes into the baseball stadium. Big twitch on the exit there. Now has this Mickey Mouse second gear left-hander. Ride the curb, takes the ball out. One corner to go. Foot to the floor, starts to build the speed. Stay tight on the exit. And across the line, and the first lap on the board is a 1:14.5 from Tom Robbo. A very handy run from him there. Lynx goes second on a 16.3. But that was on the medium tyre, and so quite a few guys here attempting the alternate strategy. Spent a few lap times on the board, then we pick up CR7, who's putting an oh, dear me. I was about to say CR7 put an absolute stunning performance in last week with his lap on the medium tyres of Baku before the lobby just went absolutely to tits. Excuse me. But this lap is ruined early as he gets on the curve on the exit 3 and slaps the wall. He's very lucky there not to lose a wheel. He will live to fight another day. We'll pick up his teammate then, Adamaco in the McLaren. He's on his way down towards Turn 1. And through the first couple of corners, okay, he's on the soft tyres. Now, I've got a few medium tyres on the lap times on the board. Tom Robbo is quite substantially ahead, as you would expect, on the soft tyres, but they don't last very long around here, so that's why a number of drivers are trying to qualify on those medium tyres. Good evening, Max Def. Where in the world are you this week, my friend? Good to have you on board. Captain Chubbs in the chat. His prediction is lap 22. Everybody decent. Don't you dare. Don't you even dare, Chubbs. Don't even think it. Take that back right now. At the minute, everything looks okay. So, we'll see. Adamaco then going purple in sector 2. That could just be a personal one. And he's in fact bailed out his lap. So, didn't fancy that one. Cuts across. And we'll head back to the pit lane. And we will pick up a Zumpy then as he heads down into Turn 1. Of course, one on track in the opening week at Silverstone. There's a little bit of one of the unfortunate recipients of the issues we had in week 2 at Portugal. He was a late joiner last week, but was making his way through the pack before it all went horribly wrong. But purple in sector 1 then, so Zumpy, who has shown exceptional speed so far this season. Season 13 champ, of course, so he has form. See how he gets on. Don't you start Pagani either, I've seen that. Into sector 2 comes Zumpy through these S's section. Ooh, back end drifting there. Man like Casey. Even Casey. Of course, Casey Bernard, our winner of Div 2's opening round at Silverstone as well. In an equally dramatic fashion as well, I might add. So, fingers crossed. You'll be at the pointy end again this week. Zumpy then coming out the final corner to complete his first flying run, and it is a 15.3 for Zumpy that pops him P2 ahead of his teammate Tico, who sits P3. Callboy up in P4, so Callboy's had a nice tidy run there. Joey finding himself in the top 5 now as the Ox goes second. 14.9 then, so the second man into the 14s, but 4 tenths to drift than Tom Robbo, so that opening run from Tom Robbo looking very, very handy already. Who have we got on track at the minute? Let's go pick up Andoir. Good to have Andoir back with us this week. Both Hazes on track. He's working his way through the middle sector. Heading now down towards the baseball stadium. Of course, the old track used to go straight on there, and I go around the outside of the baseball stadium. But this is a very unique section, and provides some great views. Landwehr tips into the final corner. This has not been a great lap. Is it an out lap? Might have been an out lap. It's a very slow lap. It's a 23.1. So down there with TTG Tibos, I suggest that was maybe just a warm-up lap, or a flying warm-up lap for his tyres, and this one will be the one to watch. So let's see how he gets on now. Current running order. We've also got the birthday boy. It is birthday boy, and he is in P3. It's Funky Fox in the Mercedes. Back with us this week, and it is his birthday. So please, everybody in the chat, do wish Funky Fox a happy birthday. He's probably far too young for my liking. Old boot like me. Anyway, Andor is 4 seconds up in the first sector, so needless to say, I think that first lap was probably just a bit of a warm-up lap on those tyres. Now he is pushing hard, so that would put him onto the 19s. That was just sector 1, so let's see how he gets on in sector 2. Of course, this is the tricky part of the lap here. It's easy to invalidate, also easy to spin. And we're looking very nice and tidy through there. Rides the curbs nicely. And he is now 6 seconds up. Which puts him into the 17s. What is he going to find in the final sector? See, all those guys who qualified on the mediums are now fitting the softs. Sandor comes out of the final corner, crosses the line, and he goes P8 with that one, a 16.1 for him then, so ahead of Lynx, ahead of Dylan. He says he's ahead of Lynx. Lynx comes across the line behind him and goes P2. So Lynx then on the soft tyre gets to within 3/10 of Tom Robbo. That lot from Tom Robbo. He's looking very, very handy still. Well, he's on another run, in fact, and he's just gone purple in sector 1, so let's stay on board then with the current pole sitter. He weaves his way through the middle sector then. These tricky S's. Nice and tidy through there. Coming down to the sector 2 checkpoint. He's 3/10 of a second up, so looking to extend his lead. The CR7 goes second, but only marginally ahead of Lynx there. That gap is still 3/10 of a second, so Tom Robbo's lap is looking absolutely brilliant already, and he's going to improve. Now just one corner to go. Out of the final corner, goes tight and narrow. And he improves to 14.0. That lead is now 0.8 of a second. Tom Robbo looking like the man to beat here tonight. Our usual one-lap specialist. Only P2. Of course, we saw him invalidate his first run. Sway goes second now, but again a 14.8. So great lap from Sway. He is finding some pace this season. It is great to see him back at the sharp end. He's popped himself then into P2 on a 14.8 then, so just ahead of CR7, just ahead of Lynx. Oxox on that. Dylan's now up in 7th as well. He says he wasn't expecting much tonight because he struggles at Mexico, but he's doing well in qualifying. Finds himself P7. Zumpy just starting a lap then, so we'll go back on board then with the Ferrari man as up to 6th goes Adamaco. Both McLarens now in the top 6. Tico now goes second, 14.5, so just a half a second lead now for Tom Robbo, but that lap is still looking absolutely superb. And he's going to be very difficult to beat. How is Zumpy getting on then into sector 2 of the lap? Purple first sector for Zumpy. Maybe around Dutch Tricks. I think Dutch Tricks down in 14th at the minute. Looking good there for... Oh, he's invalidated. So Zumpy's invalidated his lap there. Graham up to P10. Tom Laval now P9. Wesker then just goes up to P8. So let's look at that. Thousands up on Funky Fox. Those two are mega close. We're on board with Funky Fox now, who is 2/10 up in sector 1. Goes past the slowing McLaren. Into sector 2 he goes. Oh, a bit wide there, a little bit squirrely on the curb, but keeps it in bounds. And he is still 2/10 of a second up then. This is going to put him into a 15 flat. Might eke into the 14s. If he can hook up the final sector as well. As Dutch Tricks goes second, 14.4. Lap time starting to fall now, but Tom Robbo's lap time still standing head and shoulders above. Funky Fox goes 7th. He does indeed get into the 14s, a 14.9. Slots in between Oxox and Lynx. Oxox has invalidated this run then, so he will not improve this time. Who have we got on flying lap? Johan is on a lap. Let's go on board with him. He just want me to check just to see if he was lagging at all. So go on board then with the Hasman, who's being brave and is out on the medium tyre. So here he comes then down towards turn 1. Opening the apex up nicely there with the curb on the entrance. Bouncing over the curves nicely. And he is on his way. Oh, he's out up. No, he's not. He's just come round, hasn't he? Surely. Not sure what's going on there. I'll leave him to it. Do we have anybody on a lap? Dutch Tricks done 2 laps on his tyres, interestingly. He's now on his way back to the pits. We'll pick up Lynx. So Lynx has just started a flying run. He's definitely on a flying lap. Into the first sector he goes. Into the second DRS zone. Sector 1 he is 0.066 up. But that wasn't enough to jump him up to 4th. Those cars all tightly packed on 14.8s, 14.9s. Oh, now Lynx has now invalidated his lap. So he will not be improving. Everybody in the pits now apart from Andwar and Johan who are on flying laps. So both Hazes. So Johan now on a flying lap. We'll pick up his teammate, who is a bit further up the road. So Andwar then. Oh, big twitch from Andy in the S section. That's the risk. And Andy then has to bail out of that lap. The big moment. Great save from Andy. But is that lap ruined? Corby has decided he's not going to improve, so he's retired from the session. And into the pits then comes the Hasman. So who have we got starting what will be their final flying run? Starting Zumpy again. I'm on board with the Ferrari man. Through the first sector he goes. In sector 1 he is 1.5 tenths of a second up. So it's on to improve. He's coming down to P14. Did see him on a better lap last time around, but invalidated in the middle of sector 2 through this sweeping S section. How's he going to get on this time? Through the fast part nicely. Yep, nice and tidy this time. And he is now half a second up as he approaches the baseball stadium. Purple sector 2 for the Ferrari man. Now just 1 quarter to go. Apexes nicely, runs it out to the curb, comes back over, stays tight on the exit to the pit wall, crosses the line and goes P8 of 14.9. So another 14.9. A lot of drivers tightly bunched in there. In a minute then, let's go see the guys who are at the pointy end of this grid. Starting there with Dutch Tricks, currently P2 at a 14.4. Of course, he won the opening round of the season from Zumpy. Oh, and Dutch is invalidated already. So let's pick up Tico. He's just ahead of him. And he goes purple in sector 1. Half a second to find to snatch pole position. A tenth of a second to find if to get onto the front row. Tom Robbo then has decided that lap is enough, so he's not going to come out for a final fly. Save himself an extra set of tyres. Tico is marginally up then. He needs to find more time in the final sector. It will be an improvement, but not enough to put him onto the front row. Through the baseball stadium he comes. Just 1 more quarter to go now. Comes to the line. I've had a lot of time in the final sector. 14-1 just comes up short of pole position, so take it onto the front row. About Dutch Tricks, is he going to have another run? He'll have time. He's going to go. Let's go check on some of the drivers further back. And then Sway coming into sector 2, 0.3 per second down. He hasn't opened DRS, so I think he's abandoned this lap. He has not improved then. What about CR7? He's invalidated his lap. Lynx has invalidated his lap as well. Ox coming around the final corner. Start his final run now. He's got somebody ahead of him. They can use a slipstream. It's the Williams of Dan. Let's see how Ox gets on then. Oh, that's Graham crossing the line. He goes P10. So Graham into the top 10. Dan has not decided to do a lap. Adamako coming out the final corner, currently P12. Jumps up to P6 then, 14.8 for his final run. Goes at 1,000th of a second ahead of his teammate, who is invalidated then, so he will stay ahead of him. That's a good lap there from Addo, right at the death. Pops himself onto the third row. See where Dutch Tricks is. He's 7,000ths up as he comes into the baseball stadium. It won't be enough. He needs to find some time in this final sector if he wants to get back onto the front row. Has he left anything in it? The answer is he does improve. He comes up just shy though. 14.3 from him. Let's go see where Ox is. Purple middle sector. 1/10 of a second up. That could be enough to jump him all the way up to P5. Oh, he's abandoned his lap. Did he make a mistake there coming out the final corner? Andy, meanwhile, has gone P9. So Andy leaps into the top 10 at the expense of Ox. Dan's on a lap now. No, he's not. He's well down, in fact, so ignore that. Johan's invalidated his lap. And that then, I think, is that. Down into the pits. And that then is qualifying done. And it's Tom Robbo with a 14.0. Stunning lap from him, and he then will start on pole position. Once again, he's becoming a bit of a qualifying specialist as well. Stuck it on pole last week in Baku before the lobby all went to tits. Yeah, I know, I've got the same issue on my screen as well. Should come back for the race though. Fingers crossed. One of many issues that Cody's could sort out, like this outlap one that Johan seems to have got. Fingers crossed. That's the only issue we have tonight. Because I could do without anymore. There's 14 people in the chat. Please can you make sure you do like the stream? That helps us out immensely. Thank you very much. Oh, Johan's car is just doing laps. This is not a good sign, is it? It would be nice to just not have a glitch. Oh, why is Latifi in the session now? Right. Yes, it does appear to be Johan that's causing the issue. So then qualifying is done, and it is Tom Robert on pole. In the end, his gap was just 0.082 from Tico. A stunning final run from him. Leapfrog came onto the front row, but comes up just shy. Dutch Tricks will line up on the second row alongside Sway in the AlphaTauri. A great effort from him. Funky Fox starts P5 with Adamako alongside him in P6. Good qualifying from the McLaren. Remember CR7 down in P7 there after invalidating his final run. just pipped by his teammate there. Lynx starts P8 alongside Anwar, and Zumpy rounds out the top 10 with Oxox with a free tyre choice in 11th, then Graham in 12th. Dan starts P13, Wesker is 14th, Tom Deval starts P15, Dylan down in P16, Callboy starts 17th, Yarham 18th, and TTG Tibos rounding out the grid there after only setting that one lap. Good evening, Stephen Walsh. Good evening, good evening. How are we? Good, sir. I know, bloody Cody's. Pagani calling Latifi to cause a late safety car. That was probably why he appeared. But here we go then. So, we get ready for the race then. We are greeted by blue skies. So, it doesn't look like there is the threat of rain. There is some clouds over the grandstand there, so it's overcast, it's sunny, but you never know, could there be rain in the offing? We shall see. So some of the drivers mentioned they were running quite high wings. Does that possibly suggest rain to come later on? Well, we will find out in approximately 36 laps time. The cars set off and on their warm-up lap. Details up. Tyres, and go down the grid for the runners and riders of round 4 of Div 1. Well, it will be technically round 3. With the Baku race to be rerun next week then. And it is pole position for IFR Tom Robbo. He has been an absolute lightning since he joined us. It was a cruelly denied victory at Portugal in one of those freak accidents that you have to see to believe in. Even when you see it, you don't believe it. Fingers crossed then, a drama-free race for the Alpine man. Tico, season 16 champion in the Ferrari, lines up on the front row. Good qualifying for him, just shy of getting that pole position in the end. What can he do though from the front row of the grid? Dutch Tricks lines up P3, winner of the opening round of the season of course. Joined on the second row by Sway in the AlphaTauri. And we've got Funky Fox, birthday boy, P5 for the Mercedes man, ahead of the two McLarens led by Adam Acco. Great last run from him, pops himself onto the third row. On the fourth row we signed their respective teammates, CR7 lining up P7 and IFR Lynx, the reigning champ, starting in position number 8. Anwar up in P9, great qualifying from him, inside the top 10, and the unfortunate penalty taker in week 1, Zumpy, lines up P10. They are all, of course, starting on the soft tyres in which they qualified. And it's a free tyre choice for everybody thereafter, starting with Oxox, who starts on the medium tyres. Graham is going aggressive from P12, he's on the softs. Dan Morris starts P13 on the medium tyres, alongside Wesker in the second Red Bull. Medium tyres also on him. Tom Deval on the medium tyre in the second AlphaTauri. Red Bull followed by AlphaTauri up and down the grid. Dylan's going a little bit different to everybody else, they're starting on the hard tyre. He lines up P16, P17 is Corway, he's on the mediums. Then we've got Yarham in 18th on the softs, and TTG Tibos are rounding out the grid on the soft tyre as well. So the back row, look for them at being aggressive at the start. So we wait. Looks okay. Looks okay, maybe. 5 red lights. Oh, jump the start, and away we go. It's a good start from the pole sitter, but Tico jumps straight into his slipstream as they start weaving their way down, covers the inside. Tico's going to have to go the long way around. Tom been applying battery, they try and stave off, but Tico sweeps around the outside into the lead, goes a little bit deep. Tom comes back at him over the curb, but Tico snatches the lead. Great start from the Ferrari, he leads. Oh, Zumpy, has Zumpy gone round? Zumpy has spun. So the other Ferrari in drama further back, he's all the way down to the back of the grid. P18. So Tico holding on the lead. Here comes Tom Webber fighting back at him though. Dutch Tricks third, Sway holding the fourth. Lynx is up 3 to P5. He's had a really good start. Funky Fox is still 6th. Anwar up ahead of CR7. That is a good launch there. And that one, Graham's up 3 as well. Adam Acker down 4. He's had a poor start. He's swallowed up by the pack. Wesker up to 11th. He's up 3. Then they've got Ox, Tom, Dan, Tibos, Cowboy, Dylan, who has lagged out of the session. He'll be back in his car shortly. Zumpy recovering after his spin. And Yahoo jumped the start. Got a lot of work to do, but Tico is the one leading us round as they come out of the stadium section for the first time. Oh, back into that Ferrari drifting already. He's opened up a 7/10 of a second lead then. First lap on the board. Each strategy comes up expecting a 2-stop strategy. That is a very healthy lead for Tico. 9/10 of a second. Thunderbar's got Dutch tricks not too far behind, but nobody looks like they're that close. For a move, potentially Adamako and Graham into one. Further back, who was that popping out? That was TG Tibos on Dan. Drops back in and some Peters carried on. Joachim into the pits to serve his drive-through. Not the start he wanted. He will be hoping for a safety car to bring him back into contention. Fingers crossed, Dylan, mate. Fingers crossed, mate. Yellow flag in sector 1. Oh, is that Yarm retiring? Having some issues already. Tico continues to lead them by 8/10 of a second. So the big movers then. Oh, who's that going? That's Ox on Wesker. Into the stadium section then. So the Aston Martin man reclaims P11. In sector 1, that's Yarham's car. Yeah, Yarham's unfortunately retired. He's having some glitches tonight. What's happened to Andy? Oh no, Andy has spun at the final corner. Oh no, the Hazman, who's had a really good start right inside the top 10, and around he goes. He gets joined by Dylan on the back of the pack. That's so unlucky for Andy. Again, another one now we'll be hoping for a safety car. Let's come back to the big movers in this one so far. Then TT Tibos up 5, Graham's up 4, Link's up 3, as is Tom Duval and Wesker. Callboy up 2, Ox up 1. Big loser so far. Zumpy down 6, Andor down 8. Oh, Tico, they're getting the drift on. He comes out of turn 5. Top 4 making a little bit of a break here. Sway's now got a comfortable lead there over the 2 Mercedes. Lynx has now got ahead of his teammate. He's been ahead of his teammate for a while. I think the CR7 where he started. Graham's 8 out of Mako trying to recover. They've got a nice little train going on here. DRS of course now active. We're on lap 3. 2 Mercedes running nose to tail. Further back there, that's Wesker and Tom Duval getting close together. The Bull followed by AlphaTauri, as it is in 3rd and 4th between Dutch and Sway. As Tom Robbo starts to apply the pressure, then fastest lap of the race. And he's now back on the tail of the Ferrari, then so he's pulled away. Dutch is now out of DRS range. Here comes Tom Robbo for the lead into turn 1 with the DRS, and move done. Change for the point of the race further back. The Mercedes, oh, CR7 has come from 7th up to 5th. He gets both Mercedes. Graham in there as well. Funky Fox got his teammate. Oh, who was that going wide? That was Lynx. Adamako gets through. And now Ox is looking interested as well further ahead. Funky Fox looking at CR7 into turn 4. They go wheel to wheel. Oh, it's tight. Oh, what a safety car. Safety car deployed. Cowboys crashed on the exit of turn 3. And the race then has been nullified. Just as it started to get really interesting. Oh, what's happened to Ox? He's going down the order. Is he in a drama? Safety car deployed then on lap 4 of 36 with Tom Robbo back into the lead of the race then. We saw him make the move on Tico into turn 1. He now leads us round. Dutch Tricks is 3rd, Sway is 4th. And let's do, well, the top 4 will obviously be hurt by this because they had a big gap over that battle for P5. CR7 getting a great slipstream down the start-finish straight. Goes past both Mercedes into turn 1. He ends up P5. Funky Fox is where he started in P6. Into the pits. Come your top 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Through Adamako in as well. So both McLarens are in. They're going to stack. Tom Duval's gone through. A lot of people coming in then. Zumpy's in as well. Lynx is in. It's a free pit stop then. So some guys are going to lose out here. Adamako's going to lose out a little bit. Lynx is going to lose out as well. Onto the hard tyre goes Lynx. He seems to be the only deviant here. Dylan is on the hards already. He's now in the pits as well, so he's going to go on to the mediums, and we're onto the hards as well. And so 2 guys gone onto the hard tyres. Everybody else now on the mediums. Konnichiwa. Well, yes, Aaron, I can call you a delicious muffin cake. Cute, delicious mushroom cakey. Oof. Big oof. Any other requests, of course, get them in the chat. I'll read out the best ones. I'll probably read out the worst ones as well. Got 31 laps to kill, so, yep. Any requests, get them in the chat. Let's read them out. Good evening, Fever. Thank you for tuning in. And we are under safety car. As Matt just pointed out, Michael Massey's now got involved to bring a realistic experience to F1 this year. Safety car has been deployed. At this point, we should probably ask Funky Fox and Lynx just to retire, because, yeah, you know, Mercedes. Screw you guys. Screw you guys. Ooh. I need to plug something. Yes, so, provided the safety car isn't in this lap, which it's not. I need to do some plugging now. So, for those of you who follow FTRL, or maybe those of you who don't, we have a GT Sport division, based of course on the game GT Sport, which will be replaced in March next year by GT7, Gran Turismo 7 finally coming out, after however many years GT Sport has been out now, but yeah, the 7th instalment of Gran Turismo franchise is out in March, which means that next season will be our final season on GT Sport, the game. And as a result, we are going big to see the game off its star, really. Back on Thursdays and Fridays from the first week in January. For anybody who'd like to get involved, please do get in touch with us at _FTRL_ on Twitter, or if you're in the Discord already, drop us a message if you'd like to get involved. We have got 2 very exciting lineups for next season. On Thursday, then, we are going back to do our BTCC season. On Thursday's Group 4 cars, a range of cars available, looking and sounding much like the British Touring Car Championship. The racing will be close and exciting as it was last time. One to definitely get involved with. And for those who want something a little bit more powerful and big fans of GT racing, we have got the Porsche Super Cup coming back on Fridays, taking in some of the best and biggest circuits in the world, including Le Mans, Spa, in of course all identical Group 3 Porsche 911s. So if you would like to be involved in our final seasons of GT Sport on either Thursday and or Friday, or Thursday and Friday, please do get in touch. There we go, plug done, and just in time for the safety car to pull in. So we are currently on lap 6. We will resume racing on lap 7, and we find Tom Duval now leading the race from Wesker and Dan. Oxox also now sat P4. They are 4 drivers who started on the medium tyres, and they now lead. Tom Robbo, the erstwhile race leader, finds himself P5. Tico Dutch Sway Funky Fox is now P9. Graham, now CR7's lost out there because he was ahead of Funky Fox as they came into the pits. So something's not gone wrong well for him there. Lynx finds himself P12, so he's not lost out too badly there. In fact, Funky now 13th, TG Tibos 14th. Adamako really lost out Dylan and Anwar, who've now caught the pack, and away we go. Then Tom Duval pulls straight to the inside, trying to duck out of the tow. Dan Morris has been caught napping, and Tom Robbo has got Oxox already. Oh, it's 4 wide. Down the start finish straight. Tico, Oxox, Dutch. No, Dutch is behind. It's Dan. And who's going to come out? It's Tico. Oh, what a move from Tico. Down the inside of all of them. He goes from 6th to 3rd over the curb. Oh, look at the queue. Coming out of turn 3. It's 2 wide, 6 deep. As everybody fighting for position. Tico then getting the jump. Tom Robbo coming back at him. These two were battling for the lead earlier. Who's that coming in hot? It's Funky Fox on Dutch tricks. So they go around the outside. Oh, he's sideways. Oh, he's very sideways. Off the curb. Just about gets it pointing back in the right direction. Then Dan Morris got absolutely mugged on the straight at round through 2 and 3. Having restarted the race, I think he was 3rd. He's now all the way down to P8, so he got passed by 5 cars in a couple of corners there. But it was Tico, the ballsy move there, making it 4 wide. Dan Oxox, Tom Robbo and Tico 4 wide into turn 1. Further back, that was Adamako and TTG Tibos go side by side into the grandstand. Through goes back to Adamako, who was concertinaing up, and Ron Dillon are side by side. Dillon though prevailing. Of course, they'll be glad to be back on the back of the pack. Tom Duval continues to lead though. 8/10 of a second is his advantage over the Red Bull of Wesker. Sway going past Dan Morris now down the straight. Bit of ERS, bit of slipstream, through he goes. Dan drops back into the slipstream then, looking for a way back through. Not going to find it this time though. And now they've got CR7 right on the back of them in the McLaren. This train here, Graham, Zumpy, Adamako, very, very close together. Zumpy pops out. So he's had a bit of a moment there, came in a bit hot, touched the back of Graham, I think. And that lets Adamako through around the outside. Zumpy's going to try and come back at him, but no, Adamako shuts the door. Going from attack to defence, and losing out in both cases. Zumpy there, so tries to go up one, ends up going down one. Down to 14th he goes, Adamako back up to 13th. Lead now 1.2 seconds, and Tom DeVal's broken DRS already, so that's going to be critical for him for the next few laps. Wesker now holding up the erstwhile front row, the former leader, the former leaders in fact. Across the line, and DRS then will be re-enabled this time around. Wesker goes straight to the inside. He's not going to have any toe though, and Tico, of course no DRS on this straight. We'll have ERS and slipstream. Through goes Tico. Tom Robert going to follow through as well, is he? Is he going to make the double move? Not quite. Tico holds on to P2. Now they will have DRS on this straight though. Or will they? No, they don't. No, not this time. So no DRS available. Oh, that's CR7 and Dango wheel to wheel. CR7 down the inside of the Williams man. Up the inside then for the double right-hander, and that's moved on from the McLaren man. Dan down to P10. Tom DeVal's 1.2 second lead is now just 0.3 of a second. So the Ferrari is absolutely flying. Now his DRS is active. Oh, what's going on further back? Funky Fox again looking at Dutch tricks. Ox now looking at Wesker. Both Red Bulls under attack. One from Aston Martin, one from a Mercedes. Top three breaking away. Wesker's now 1.2 off the back of Tom Robbo. As Tico opens his DRS, this should be a fairly routine overtake. DeVal's not going to have anything to fight with. Here comes Tom Robbo now. He'll go through as well. It's too wide further back. Tico will hold the lead. What's going on here? Ox gets the move done on Wesker. Oh, and Dutch as well. So Ox goes past Dutch and goes past Wesker. Dutch has gone past his teammate as well. Oh, Funky Fox drifting out the corner. And Sway now starting to close up. Michael getting the move done, and Graham through 1-2. Graham coming back at him though. Everybody's got DRS. He's going to come back at CR7. Graham down the inside. And that is move done from Adamako. He's now up to P12. So picking his way forwards. Had a poor start and then had to stack in the pits as his teammate was up further ahead of him. Everybody pitted under that safety car. I say everybody apart from Tom DeVal, Ox, Wesker and Dan. Now something on the back of Graham, the Ferrari man, closing in on the Alfa Romeo. Thinks about a move up the inside, not quite close enough. DGT was now buying the fastest lap of the race to our race leader. 17.8 for Tico then. Tom Robbo though within half a second. Tom DeVal hanging on resolutely as well. Still in DRS range. We'll save him from Ox further back meanwhile. Wesker getting mugged by Funky Fox. And Sway's going to follow through. Is Sway going to make a double overtake here? No, not quite. Funky Fox has enough to hold him off. But he's got very little in way of deployable energy left, down at 10%. Burning it as well. Sway there with a weave. He's not happy about something. Was that aimed at Wesker or was that aimed at Funky Fox? We may never know. So top two then. So Tom actually just brought that gap back down again. It was over a second. So TK leading by 0.6 of a second. The DRS zone coming up. Tom DeVal has now got two of the feistiest men in all of FTRL on behind him. probably the most feisty in Oxox. And then the ever rapid Dutch Tricks behind him. Well, these two haven't pitted. Dutch has, so he's on slightly fresher tyres. This should be a fairly routine overtake for Oxox into the DRS. Through he goes. Comes back over now for the slipstream, but Dutch Tricks going down the outside. With the DRS as well. Cuts over in front of Tom. And it resumes his place in P4. Funky Fox in a bit of no man's land now. He's broken away from Sway. He's got the attention to Wesker. He's just made a move on the Wesker actually. So one AlphaTauri heads the Red Bull. One Red Bull has the AlphaTauri. Oh, and Adamako's gone on the exit of turn 3. And is that going to be a safety car or a VSC? Doesn't look like it. That's a shame. Adam was picking his way through quite nicely. On the fringe of the top 10 again. But unfortunately, the McLaren man is out. It looks like just yellow flags. So ooh, and a links with a penalty there. That's a rare sight. Okay, the reigning champ is not one for picking up penalties. But running a little bit wide there. And picked himself up a penalty through the S's. He's on the hard tyres though, which might explain slight lack of grip compared to some around him. Move for the lead. Tom Robert down the inside into 1, and he retakes the lead away from Tico. As Funky Fox now picks up a penalty, so both Mercedes now on a penalty. And Tom Robert having got the lead, gets the DRS again. And that will help him maintain his advantage. Meanwhile, Dutch Tricks on Oxox down the inside into 4. Gets the move done. Funky Fox now on the back of Tom Duval. Oh, look at that Oxox pushing Dutch Tricks out turn 5 into 6 and 7. And Duval hanging with them. Funky Fox is wide again. He's now 2.2 seconds back, so now the Tarry man just started to lose touch a little bit. Now he's got rid of Wesker, who is now out of DRS range, so he can focus on trying to close that gap ahead of him. Funky Fox up the inside of Tom Duval into the baseball stadium. Oh, is there going to be contact? Oh, there is. He does really well to save that there. That could have been a spin very easily. We've seen that so many times on this game and recent iterations of this game as well. The car on the inside, there's contact like that. Oh, Funky Fox is drifting out the final corner. Those tyres are going to be absolutely shot if he keeps doing that. Oxox on Dutch Tricks. Dutch got the move done to 4 last time around. Is Ox going to be close enough for the move into 1? The answer is no, he's not. Who is going to be there is Funky Fox on Tom Duval. Up to P5 goes the Mercedes. As the move done is Oxox biding his time. And he's had a twitch there coming out of turn 3. Just dropped him back a couple of car lengths. Now is he going to be close enough for a move into 4? I don't think he is, so Dutch will maintain position. Just ahead of them. Top 2 are nose to tail again, but they're now 2.6 seconds up the road, so these two have been the class of the field so far. They come into the SS section once again. It seems like Adamako's had some contact. That's unlucky, mate. So looking going really well for you there. I think been held in the pit lane, picking your way through nicely. Unfortunately, that is the end of his race, and into the final corner then comes Tico and Tom Robbo. Tico then just a splash of ERS just to give him a kick off the corner. Funky Fox with the fastest laps, despite drifting around the track, he is flying. Here there comes Tico with the ERS wide open down the inside, cuts back across and takes the lead of the race away. So the Ferrari man hits the front once again. Red Bull holding off the Aston Martin. I've also got the Mercedes there as well, so these three have now broken away. Tom Duval not able to hang with the pace. Second DRS zone coming up. Dutch Tricks starting to weave now to try and break the toe. Ox I think is happy to just sit in though for the moment. And slightly older tyres, so you just want to be managing his tyres as best he can do. He's now getting very close to the back of him. Tom Duval slipping back towards his teammate. So the AlphaTauri is running 6th and 7th. He's starting to pick his way through, closing in on his teammate. Wesker now 2.4 seconds back. Funky Fox has got the move done on Oxox there with DRS. CR7 now with a penalty. Further back. Again, Funky Fox twitching. If he gets on the power, that Mercedes is looking a little bit loose. But with the fastest lap to his name, it's into the pits comes Tom Duval. So Tom Duval has pulled the trigger now. What tyres is he going to go for? Yellow flag sector 3. Or what was that? Oh, I think it's Dan Morris. It's possibly had a spin. Not been Dan's night, unfortunately. Despite having restarted in the top 3. Holds the lead. Tom Robbo thought about a move up the inside there, but backs out of it. And Funky Fox now on the back of Dutch Tricks. And we saw these two have an epic battle at Barcelona last season. Then in the McLaren. There's Funky Fox as he stormed his way through on the soft tyres, mugged Dutch Tricks. And then his teammate came through as well, and McLaren ended up with a 1-2. So their season really took off from Spain. It was Lynx's first win in FTRL as well. Long overdue. It looks like the birthday boy is the lead Mercedes tonight. Currently up in P4, his teammate P9. But he is on the hard tyres, so he might be able to go to the end from here. So let's see how the strategies play out. Fox still resolutely clinging on. Just slipping back now. Slightly older tyres. His laps are 16. His tyres are 16 laps old. The guys around him are on 11 lap old tyres. Tom Duval's come out with a soft tyre, interestingly, as Tom Robbo swoops into the lead of the race again, further up. And Funky Fox gets the move done on Dutch Tricks as well, so the Mercedes man up to 3rd. How many happy returns is he going to have? And as Pagani just pointed out, it's getting very grey. It's getting misty. I did spot some clouds hanging over the stadium. Are we going to see some rain? We have got nearly a half race distance. And it's getting grey. Might explain the hard tyre choice for Lynx and Andy. Might also explain the soft tyre choice for Tom Duval. So let's see. When is the rain going to come? When's it going to come is the question. Funky Fox, look at him. Funky Fox has got literally no ERS. He's actually burned his ERS. He's trying to push down to get out of the DRS range of Dutch Tricks, I think. He maybe thinks he can close down on the lead too. He could do without having to defend from the Red Bull behind him though. Dutch and Oxox still hanging on really well as well. And again, is that why Oxox is staying out? Sway now in a bit of no man's land, 3 seconds behind that battle over P3, 2.8 ahead of CR7, who has now dispatched Wesker. Wesker's now got this train, starting with Lynx, Graham, TGG Tibos, Dylan Anwar, all in the queue. And then Zumpy, Tom Duval having just got a warning or a penalty, now sets the fastest lap of the race, 16.7 for him. Dan then, I think now is hoping for a safety car to bring him back into contention once again. 3 retirements so far, we have had 1 safety car. Robbo continuing to lead. Oh, what's happened to Lynx? He's just hemorrhaged to have several positions. He's still in there. He is still in there. Oh! Oh, he's had a big snap there, and that's the front wing gone. And a VSC deployed. So, moment then for Lynx. Snaps across the track, front wing is gone. Going to ruin the Mercedes man's race. Into the pits come the race leaders. Tom Robbo and Tico Pitt. Also in. Ox Hawks in Sway. Funky Fox and Dutch Tricks have gone round. Ox Hawks onto the soft tyre. Oh, and Graham's sped in the pit lane. So a 5-second penalty for Graham. Pagani just spotted there that and unfortunately that is the end of the Lynx race is unfortunately over. In comes Dan as well, Zumpy, Dylan, Anwar, TG Tibos, Gran, Wesker, all in. So who has stayed out? It's Funky Fox and Dutch Tricks. The only two drivers to stay out. Tom Duval obviously just pitted, so he's now back up to P6. But the track is getting great. Also the skies are getting great. The track's already great. Funky Fox now leading the race. The birthday boy at the point. He's now in a very strong position. How much longer can those tyres go? Are we going to see a threat of rain? Dutch Tricks hanging with him. These two were third and fourth, they're now first and second. The guys who were first and second are now third and fourth. The sky's just getting a little bit cloudy, but it doesn't look like rain yet. Dutch Tricks into DRS range. See, look at the difference in ERS. So Funky Fox has got 6%. Dutch Tricks is on 32. Tom Roberts, Pagani pointed out, 88. Tico matching him behind actually. As is Oxox. So Oxox now on soft tyres. He's going to be racing. Dan now with a penalty for multiple warnings. The circuit is a bit of a killer for penalties. So they exit there. Turn 3 is a good one. You also get them through turns 1 and 2 if you cut too much of the curb. And 3 on exit, 3 on entry and exit, turn 3. Turn 4 is usually okay. Turn 5 you can possibly get one on the exit here. There's a curb on exit, that's nice and tidy for Oxox. 6 and 7 are usually okay, you can possibly get one on the exit. It's this section here that's a bit of a killer. Because it's high speed, S is change direction, you're going to use the curbs, use all the track. Catching any slides. You need to ride the curbs, but yeah, nice and tidy through there from Oxox. Let's see, his time he's nearly 5/10 of a second up in sector 2 on his best lap. Into the pits comes Funky Fox. Now, what tyres is he going on to? He's going to the soft. That leaves Dutch Tricks in the lead on his own. Now, might Funky Fox regret not pitting under that VSC? And let's find out. Oxox goes through. Where's Funky Fox going to feed back out again? Tom Duval's going to come through. Funky Fox leaving the pit lane. Here comes Sway though at full speed. He might just hold him off here. Dylan now with a penalty. Seven's not had the best of races by his standards. You usually expect him to be at the sharp end, but didn't hook it up in qualifying. Seemed to lose out in that first pit cycle after the safety car. He's been picking his way forward, trying to pick his way forward ever since. He's made his way back up to P8. Zumpy now with a penalty. Well, let's be honest, Pagani Div 1 drivers do like to push the boundaries a little bit more. Oh, Funky Fox with a second penalty. That's not what he needs. That's now 6 seconds of penalties. Let's have a look at the penalty situation. Dutch going to pit this time. No, he's not. Penalty situation as follows: nothing for Dutch, nothing for Tom, nothing for Tico. Oxox has 3, as does Tom Duval. 9 seconds now for Funky Fox, in fact, so that's going to cost him at the end, especially if there's another safety car. Nothing for Sway, 9 seconds for CR7, and 3 for Wesker. TG Tibos, 5 for Graham, of course that's speeding in the pit lane. 3 for Anwar, 3 for Zumpy, another 3 for Wesker there, so he's now on 6. 3 for Zumpy, 6 for Dylan, 9 for Dan. It's Tom Duval losing out to Funky Fox. And if anything, it's brightening up again, I think. The sun seems to have come out again. Yep, so it looks like... Yep, that's definitely sunny again. So that cloud has dispersed. And it looks like we're going to get a dry race in purple first sector from Funky Fox on those fresh, soft tyres. Now, when does Dutch Tricks pull the trigger? Is he staying out because he doesn't think the soft tyres can get to the end yet? Fox is going to have to go another 14 laps. Oh, Dutch Tricks drifting through the stadium section. Is he in this time? I think he is. Yes, race leader is in. Lead was 8 seconds, and so Tom, Robbo and Tico will come round and resume their battle for the lead. They're both on the medium tyres. They'll be going to the end. Where will Dutch Tricks filter back in? Here goes Comes down pit lane, through goes Ox. Funky Fox is going to go through as well. So those two were battling prior to the pit stops. Through goes Tom Duval. That Sway. He's going to go out side by side. Dutch is going to drop it right behind him and between CR7. CR7 got DRS on the AlphaTauri though, and through on the Red Bull. They're going to go wheel to wheel into turn 1. Dutch is going to try and hang around the outside. Gives him the inside for 2. CR7 will have the inside for 3. Bounces over the curb. DRS for CR7, none for Dutch Tricks though, but he's going to have fresher tyres for this braking zone. Is he going to send it in? No, too far back. And that might cost Dutch Tricks badly towards the end of this race. Then he's got fresher tyres. He'll be more confident he can get to the end. Oh, he's up the inside of CR7 already. Just gets so much more grip off the corner. And through he goes. That's one move done. But that would have cost him some time. Quickly latching onto the back of Sway as they go through the S's. DRS is active now. Had a really good run. Yeah, he's going to make a move here into the stadium section. He goes back up to P60 and move done. Now he's got 3.4 seconds to close on Tom Duval. Look how much time that Funky Fox pitted just a lap ago. He's now 5 seconds of Dutch Tricks. That is the time that Dutch has lost and that Funky Fox has gained on that lap. Change for the lead of the race meanwhile. There is Tico appearing on the inside of Tom Robert into turn 1. These two changing the lead again, and Ox looking ominous in the background. 2.8 seconds back now. He's just chipping away at that lead on those soft tyres, but the question is, are those tyres going to get to the end? Funky Fox also now just 2.6 seconds back. There is a lot more in competition too, but that's what makes it so exciting. And to be fair, the level of Div 2 has risen significantly, so there's not really... You say you're incompetent, but no, not at all, not having any of that. So then the race finally poised. A battle going on back here. TTG Tibos with Wesker and Graham in hot pursuit. That on medium tyres, Wesker on hards, Graham on the medium tyre as well. To the inside of Wesker coming to the stadium section, not quite close enough. Dutch Tricks meanwhile has caught Tom Duval. Now that gap was 2.3 seconds, 2.4 seconds. He has chewed that up in a lap, so it's just the fresher tyres. Tom Robert meanwhile has retaken the lead. Here comes Dutch Tricks with the DRS. Tom Duval tries to break the slipstream, but there's probably no point defending that one. It's a case of knowing what battles to fight. And I think Tom knew that was not his battle, so he's now going to try and latch onto the back of Dutch Tricks, pull himself along. Got Sway and CR7 in the background. They're now trying to close down on the AlphaTauri man. Of course, he's only made one stop, so... Ooh, that could be critical. Tom Robbo picks up a penalty. Race leader now has a penalty to his name. Now he's trying to break away from Tico. He's got that lead up to 0.8 of a second. Into the DRS zone we go. So, oh, and Tico's got one as well. So, that evens the score. Gap behind is staying about the same, 2.8 seconds, but behind that, Funky Fox is closing in on Ox. Wesker now with another penalty, that's 3 for him now. No, I don't think we'll get any disqualifications tomorrow. I don't think I've ever seen one in Mexico. Canada seems to be the only one I've seen the disqualification. That's Mr. Max Death, if you're still here. I remember that. But there was another one somewhere else, but I can't remember where it was now. So just 2 drivers now without penalties to the name, Dutch Tricks and Sway. Now, Dutch Trick, that could really help him come the end of the race. Now he's cleared Tom Duval. He's trying to close down on Funky Fox. The gap's 4.5 seconds. CR7 with another penalty. He's though just past Sway, but Sway has no penalty, so Sway can afford to just sit behind him. I think that's 12 seconds now for the McLaren man, so Sway will comfortably jump ahead of him. He can just follow him through, pull himself along. Through the double right-hander hairpin they go. This battle raging on as well. Wesker still in the hunt for P9. Graham there as well. And while who had a strong start, that spin though just stunted his progress. He's now clavering to get onto the back of that trio ahead of him. Got now 1.2 seconds, so he is getting closer. Oh, Oxox with another penalty into the pits. Comes Oxox from third then, so Oxox can't get to the end on those tyres. He's having to pit again. Change for the lead. Meanwhile, Tico getting the move done on Tom Robbo into turn 1. Where will Oxox filter back in? And he's down to P7. Tom Duval's in as well. Tom I didn't think would be able to get to the end. Here comes that trio battling as Oxox coming out of the pits. Just going to land up right in the middle of this then. As Wesley gets the move done on TTG Tibos. TTG Tibos staying ahead of his teammate for now. You have a feeling that Oxox will just use his superior grip at this point and just blast around the outside of his teammate into the braking zone. Yeah, TTG Tibos doesn't fight it, lets his teammate go. Sparks fly, and now Oxox on softs against Wesker on hards. I feel like I've seen this battle somewhere before recently. Car on old hard tyres against the driver on new softs. Anyone? Anyone at all? How did that one end up? DRS is open. Here comes the Aston Martin. Doesn't make the move though. Interesting. I think he's waiting for the main straight. Now development up front. Tico has pulled out of DRS range of Tom Robbo. Tom Robbo's made a mistake somewhere on this lap, or either that or Tico has just got his the hammer down. That gap is now 1.1 seconds, so he's out of DRS range. Oh, Tico's very wide though on exit 3. The gap now is bang on a second. Tom Robbo back into DRS range. Yeah, Oxox waiting for the straight. Gets the move done. Dealing with a penalty further back. But he's in the pits. Through we go. Drifting out of there. Turn 3 there, Oxox. Get the power down. That's a double DRS. Having made the move on Wesker. TTG Tibos now coming at Wesker as well. Sway around the back of CR7 still. CR7 with a lot of penalties. Sway with none. Oh, curse of the commentator strikes. As the words Sway has none come out of my mouth, he gets a penalty. I even looked at the line took there and I was like, that could be close. And it was. So there was just one driver now doesn't have a penalty, and that is Mr. Dutch Tricks, who is currently P4, but not closing that gap down to Funky Fox sufficiently. It's now 4.1. It was 4.5 a couple of laps ago, so Funky Fox is keeping a very strong pace, but even he's not being able to close on the top two now. Tom Robbo, who was over a second, nearly 1.2 seconds back a lap ago, is within 0.4 of a second as Oxox takes the fastest lap away. Sway getting the move done on CR7 meanwhile. Sway goes back through. Good evening, Zermois. Plug GT. You short on numbers? Mate, get in touch. Speak to Aaron, speak to Tom. We've got 2 things lined up, so yeah. Get involved. Good to have you back. While we faff around trying to do something with ACC. Anything? Anyone? ACC? Anybody? While I'm here, plug ACC as well. Please come back to our ACC league. We need peoples. We want to race. Dan Morris into the pits again. So the question is, are these soft tyres going to get to the end? Funky Fox and Dutch Tricks, are they going to make it to the end on those tyres? I'm starting to wonder. We've still got 7 laps to go. That will be 12 laps on a set of soft tyres. 14 for Funky Fox. Now I've seen Funky Fox do some incredible things on soft tyres. Let's see how he gets on tonight. Is the birthday luck with him? He's off for a podium. Oh, is he on for a podium? He's not on for a podium, in fact, no, because he's got too many penalties. Here comes Tom Robbo though for the lead. Now he's top 4 all in shot. Tom Robbo making the move into 1 with the DRS. He'll get it again now on the exit 3 on the run down to 4. Fox. And that gap staying fairly stable, 2.7. Dutch Tricks has now got that gap down to 3.5 seconds, so he is closing in, but the tyres, of course, there's only 2 lap difference between their tyres, so although I watched that Mercedes drifting around this circuit, so I'm not surprised if his tyres are a little bit even up. See lots of Wesker going at it still, and they've now been joined by Graham Andoir and Zumpy, so this is 2, and Tom Duval, who's recently pitted, so there's a 6-car battle going on again now, so we'll tune into this. First up is Tom Duval versus Zumpy, the back here. thinks about a move. Somebody gives him the room, but Tom backs out of that one. Tries to get a short spurt here, but again, not quite close enough. Andor versus Graham. These guys are on equal tyres in terms of tyre life. If they go, then they've got Wesker on the hard side. So all these guys, apart from Tom DeVal, are on 10-lap old tyres. TG Tibos, Graham, Andor and Zumpy on mediums. Wesker's on hard. Tom DeVal on 2-lap old soft tyres. So he's going to be racy. TG Tibos will make a break here. He's got to a second. He can hold that gap around this corner, and he's pulled further away here. Wesker needs to get the hurry on. I think he's going to be out of the DRS detection zone. He is. I'm getting the move done on Zumpy out the final corner. That's just how much more grip he's got, and Wesker does not have DRS, so now he's a bit of a sitting duck here. Here comes Graham. Wesker trying to break the toe. He's also got no ERS left, and Graham sends it down the inside. Ooh, Wesker arrives on the apex at the same time. And now, having been overtaken by the Alfa Romeo, he'll have DRS again. And now Andor will have it as well. So now Andor goes side by side. He blasts past Wesker. Here comes Tom DeVal as well. Wesker's getting backwards here, but hangs around the outside of the first part of turn 4. But Tom DeVal's just got so much more grip. And up to P11 goes Tom DeVal. So all those drivers who just stopped, Ox is back into P7 now and trying to hunt down CR7 and Sway. Gap is 3.8 seconds. These two are still battling. 6 tenths between them. Dutch Trick's now 2.7 behind Funky Fox. The gap is now 3.4 to the race leaders. And the race leader is now Tico again, who gets the move done into 1. Let's go back then to this battle. 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th and 13th. Dylan and Dan, unfortunately, just doing some plodding at the moment. They needed another safety car, and I don't know if we'll get one this late in the race. Let's see. Dylan does have DRS, also with DRS Tom DeVal and Andor. Tom DeVal has got so much more grip. Oh, another penalty for Funky Fox. I think that's 4 for him now. CR7 getting the move on a Sway into 4. Claremont back into P5. But he does have significantly more penalties. 12 seconds to 3. Yeah, Funky Fox now has 12 as well. And Tom DeVal around the outside. But whenever I say that, I can only think of the Eminem song. Do trailer park girls go around the outside, around the outside, around the outside. Wesker with another penalty then, so Wesker's picked up another one. Yep, so do I, mate. So do I, Miss ACC2. Hopefully we'll get some drivers, be able to kick it off again, and see how much of my speed I've lost. Let's go back to the race leaders, and Tico is your leader. On lap 33 of 36 now, we're getting to the business end of this. Tom Robbo with DRS once again. Sway and CR7 side by side. Sway with DRS, and Sway with P5 once again. Gap back to Ox now for 2.6 seconds. So he's closing. I don't know what his camera angle is, Codemasters. I can't see a lot. There we go. Race leads, you feel these two are just stuck. Oh! Tico with a second penalty. Tico's just picked up his second penalty. Now he's on 2 penalties. Robbo now can just sit there. Doesn't need to battle this one too. Graham and Tom DeVal now fighting. Tom around the outside. He's in the inside. And Tom DeVal is just picking his way through this group very nicely now. He's up to P9. Tibos just in front of him. Those soft tyres do really good effect. Ox now 1.1 seconds behind CR7, who is now 1.1 behind Sway. Sway is out of DRS range. And Ox has just got back into it, I believe. Did he get it this lap? Not quite. So we have to wait one more lap. The gap's just extending out a little bit now. And for the lead, Tom Robert closing in, but he doesn't need to now. Because Tico has got 2 penalties to his name. And interestingly, now the one maybe to watch here is going to be this man, Dutch Tricks. No penalties to his name. so far. He's now the only driver without one. He is 5 seconds off the lead. Let's say 4 point. Yeah, he's about just over 5 seconds off the lead. So if he can catch another 2 seconds of those front two, if they start battling, he could win this race the second time. He's not going to finish first on track, but he could snatch it with the penalty situation at the end. Tom Robbo, though, currently on course. He needs to watch that gap back to Dutch Tricks. There you are, your top four. All in shot at Tico, Tom Robbo, Funky Fox and Dutch Tricks. Funky Fox is really out of this now. He's got too many penalties. He's going to be vulnerable to Sway behind him. Tibos now with another penalty. As Ox meanwhile has caught CR7. Now Tom Robbo really here just needs to follow Tico for the next 2 laps. He doesn't need to overtake him. He's got the penalty advantage. I'll say while he's got the penalty advantage, he doesn't need to overtake him. So stay between the lines. And this is yours. Funky Fox now 3.1 seconds back. He's not been able to close up. I think his tyres are just past their best now. Dutch Tricks is closing, but not closing quickly enough on the penultimate lap of the race. Get back to this battle here for 4th, 5th and 6th. Oh dear me, was that with a twitch. Fox now closing in. Didn't have the DRS. He will have it now though. He's definitely within that second boundary now. Tom Duval now has made his way through to the front of this pack. However, it's still very much going on. Graham holding off Anduar, Wesker holding off Zumpy. As they come down to the 4, 5, 6, 7 complex. There's the grandstands. Oh, nose to tail. And credit to them for carrying on. Dylan's not had a race, remember, lagged out early on, which probably upset his rhythm. Down in P14 and Dan. And again, fair play to him for carrying on. Yeah, I don't think he's seen anybody for about half a race. Needed a second safety car, which has not come, but still carry on. Good to see. For the lead, Tom Robbo hits the front. He's still got enough advantage over Dutch Tricks, provided he doesn't pick up another penalty. He'll have DRS again now between 3 and 4. I should keep him ahead of Tico. Dylan with the penalty further back. CR7 making a move on Sway. Where is Ox in all this? Oh, Ox goes for a late move on Sway into 1. What a stunning move that was from Ox. Oh, twitches off the curb. He's got DRS over CR7 though. They've both caught Sway on the final lap. Now CR7's got a lot of penalties, so Ox again doesn't need to make the move here. What's his penalty situation like? Well, I'll think about it. Well, he's on 8, so he's sped in the pit lane. He must have sped in the pit lane somewhere. That will cost him then. Meanwhile, up front, Tom Robbo continues to lead. I think he's going to be safe, provided he can get through the last couple of corners. Drama free. The ticker tape starts to fly. And he's been threatening this for a couple of weeks, but out of the final corner, he'll win on track. He'll survive with his penalties. Tom Robbo wins the Mexican Grand Prix. Tico crosses the line P2. I have a feeling, though, that this man here, P4, would jump to P2. He does. Tico will end up 3rd. Just 0.3 of a second in the end, though. So Dutch's tyres dying at the end. Out of the final corner, CR7 still ahead. As they cross the line, Ox gets jumped by Sway, who goes P5. Ox finishes P6, CR7 is P7. Tom Duval out of the final corner. Good recovery drive from him. He will end up P8. TG Tibos P9. Anwar jumps him to P9. Graham goes P10 but gets jumped by Zumpy. TG Tibos down to P12. Wesker 13th. Not his day. Dylan had a very quiet race. He'll be hoping for better luck next week. So that's the final corner. It'll be P14 for the Alfa Romeo man. Crosses the line. And Dan Morris takes in the applause of the fans as he comes through the baseball stadium. Out of the final corner. Spins it up and crosses the line, and he is a final finisher in P15. Tom Duval's driver of the day. Good drive from him. Battling performance. But it is victory for Tom Robbo. Finally. Probably could have won, should have won at Portimao. Was in contention last week at Baku. Before the game denied him. This week he is not to be denied. Claims victory from Dutch Tricks and from Tico. So top 3 finishing as they started. It's a very rare sight. But congratulations to him. He's fastest man qualifying by some margin to begin with, although a late flyer from Tico put him in contention. Those two were the class of the field in this one, but it is victory for Tom Robbo. Dutch Tricks then. I'm sorry, no, Dutch Tricks got second, didn't he? Because the penalty. So yeah, Dutch Tricks comes home P2, Tico P3, so your top 3 finish in the top 3. Funky Fox, the birthday boy, comes home P4. Good effort from him. And he started P5. Sway comes home P5. Great race from him, though. Like one penalty there. Oxox, the fastest lap, comes home in P6. CR7, P7. Tom Deval ends up at P8 with Andoir 9th, and Zumpy running out the top 10. Final finish for Graham in P11, TGG Tierboss P12, Wesker in P13, Dylan P14, Dan P15, and then the retirements, Lynx, Adamako, Corboy and Yarham. Unfortunately was this week's recipient of the lobby glitch. Thankfully though, on the whole, the lobby behaved itself this week. Fingers crossed we won't have any more dramas for the rest of this season, but we'll see. We've got a couple of, well, we've got the Christmas break coming up, so fingers crossed Codemasters might be able to sort out some issues for us before we start racing again. Please. That though is the end of the action for this evening, but of course not the end of action on FTRL this week, because we are back tomorrow here at Mexico to do it all over again with Div 2. And we have a new voice in the commentary box tomorrow, so do join us for that. 2 sets of eyes on the prize next time out. And then Thursday, of course, we are back for what is the final week of GT Sports Season 15. And we are at the Circuit di Lago Maggiore. 2 races, of course, of the Group 4 McGann, and then the 40-minute feature race to round off the season. Of course, we crowned the champion last week. T. Smith once again claiming honours in GT Sport. Can anybody deny him next season? We shall see in the new year. But yeah, for this evening, that is the end of the action. If you haven't already liked the stream before you go, please do like it. And thank you for those who have tuned in this evening. I really appreciate it, as always. We're back next week with Div 1. Now, it was supposed to be our break week, but we are back next week with Div 1 to re-attempt the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Fingers crossed this time we will get that one done. And then we are back in the new year. So yeah, the race action wrapping up for Christmas. So for those who might not be joining us again, thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you have a great Christmas. For those who are going to tune in though, we'll see you tomorrow. We get to do this all over again, but as always, thank you for joining me. Thank you for the comments in the chat and the likes on the stream. And I guess we mentioned before, we've got action available in GT Sport for the new season. Do get involved. Messages at _FTRL_. Yeah, get involved. But for this evening for me, that is the end of our coverage. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again real soon.